Move on. Let's talk about the logistics sector itself. We have with us the management of Gati, and the reason why we are speaking to Gati right now is because of the commentary that we've been getting from a lot of people over the last few trading sessions, the last few days rather, that the festive season demand has been lower than anticipated, even in the e-commerce, even in the e-commerce segment where deliveries have been lower than expected too. Pirojshaw Sarkari, the CEO of Gati, joins in now. Mr. Sarkari, thank you for joining in. Could you tell us how the third quarter was qualitatively, if you can't talk about numbers, because people are saying it was a little subdued?
Firstly, season's greetings to all of you at CNBC and to all the viewers. For us at Gati, and especially the B2B express logistics business, the third quarter was better than the first two quarters. I must point out here that people are comparing the festive season to the last year's festive season, and last year was really a post-COVID comeback of the festive season for the first time. So people were buying with a vengeance, I would suppose. This year was not at all bad. This year was good, but compared to last year, if you keep comparing it to a year which was a rebound year, as I call it, yes, it was slightly subdued.
Okay, no, absolutely. A point taken, Mr. Sarkari. Good morning, Prashant here.
Good morning.
All right. Now, so the slowdown which, for example, we had Mahindra Logistics Management, 20% of their business is, back-end e-commerce, right? Not delivery to customers, but on the back-end. Yours is, of course, largely express parcel B2B. There is no, forget comparison to the last year, because as you said, growth rates were higher, base was higher. But by itself, are you seeing any softening at all? Third quarter, you said, is better than as the second quarter, but is it up to expectations? And what are you seeing for, say, 2 quarters out? How are things going to be?
So from an industry perspective, I would say there is continued growth. The growth is not as high as it was last year in the third quarter, again, the same reason. But there is continued growth, and specifically for Gati, being a player that is coming back into the market after, let's say, 5-7 years of being kind of down there, we are seeing good growth for us. One has to understand that the comparatives that are being made first half, second half are basically over a quarter in 21, where April and May had COVID going on in a very big way. So yes, everybody said first half, good growth over last year first half. But there were 2 complete months of COVID, and that was a real big comeback. If you remember, the North India, Delhi was shut down in April and May of 21. So the comparisons have to be made accordingly.
Is it really that unfair to compare, say, Q3 to Q3 of last year? October and December, yeah.
So Q3 to Q3 of last year, also there is a growth. But like I said, the growth is not as much as Q1 or first half of last year to this year.
Okay. You have a run rate of 750 crores per quarter that you've been targeting for a while. When do you think you can reach that on a consistent level? And also, you had earlier targeted 3,000 crore revenues in 3 years. Are you on track to do that?
We are absolutely on track to do that. And the 750 crore run rate, as I had always said, was in March of 26. So we are a little away from there, but we are on track.
All right. March of 26 is where that run rate happens. If you could give us a sense of, the run rate that you saw in the third and the run rate that you're likely to see in the fourth quarter of this year. I ask this because you are saying that you saw growth, and also with regards to margins. We just had some companies come by and say that there was a high amount of inflation which continued into the third quarter. You had an exit margin target of 9%. Are you on track for that?
Again, absolutely on track for the exit margin. I I think there are a plethora of initiatives that the government has taken for reduction of logistics costs. And while a lot of people keep talking about margins being subdued because of the revenues not being able to increase, the yields not being able to increase, one has to really look at cost optimization. And for us in India, the logistics cost, which everybody has stuck to the figure of 14%, although I believe that we are now hovering at least 200 basis points below that because of the various initiatives that the government has taken right from 2017 introduction of GST to e-way bill in 18, FASTag made compulsory in 21, and the kind of highways that have been made over the last 8 to 9 years.
Mr. Sarkari, we are aware of the challenges that plague the logistics sector and the opportunities that have come by. But for you in particular, the run rate that you've done in the third quarter is something that I wanted to know. And what about the KWE's 3.5% stake? What's the update on that? When is Gati/All Cargo buying it?
So, on the run rate part, our results will be out. Our third quarter results will be out as soon as the quarter gets over, and you'll get to know that very soon. On the KWE buyout, we have already concluded the deal. We have given the amount to the stock exchange also, and I suppose by end of this year, we would be independent of KWE.
Right. Okay, Mr. Sarkari, we'll leave it at that. Thanks a lot for joining in and have a great 2023 if we don't speak again. That is Gati talking about the business and the way forward. Well, for the market overall, it's still very quiet really. I mean, in the green, the mid-cap